will jump into the theme of Sukkot, okay? We read in the Bible, for 7 days period you should live in booths. Every resident among Israelis should live in booths, which means that like the main mitzvah of Sukkot is like to sit in the sukkah, right? As we can see, and in Hebrew it said, בסוכות תשבו 7 ימים, כל האזרח בישראל ישבו בסוכות. So a resident and Ezrach, it's like the same word, but it does have like a different meaning. Ezrach in Hebrew, it means a resident, but it also means a fresh tree. And as we say, like כל האזרח בישראל ישבו בסוכות, it means that you have to feel free, you have to feel very natural in your own sukkah, you have to feel like a tree in the wood, and you have to feel like very fresh, very greenery when you sit outside of your house. It's like you're not supposed to feel like a loneliness, and you're not supposed to feel like it's not your place. This is like the theme of Sukkot, to sit in the sukkah and feel comfortable. Okay, and then we go to the Mishnah in Masechet Sukkah, and we got the measurements of the sukkah. Okay, this is like the small sukkah that we can build, and this is like the largest sukkah that we are allowed to build. Who can guess the measurements? Who knows the measurements? Who can say? Like, you can unmute your windows. Do any of you knows the measurements? Okay. Crickets. I can hear crickets. Anyway, so the minimum height of the sukkah should be 10 tefachim, which means like 32 inches, which means in meters, it's like 0.8 approximately. And that's very low, but I guess in ancient times, like people were shorter and people were like short in equipment, and like not all of us could build like a proper sukkah. And the width and the height of that will limit the sukkah is like 20 amos, which means it's like 30 feet, and in meters it's 9.14. So 9.14 nowadays it's compared to 3 flat building, 3-floor building, which is very high. And as you can see, the length and the width of the sukkah should be minimum 7 tefachim, which is like approximately half a meter. And the timetable that you have to build the sukkah is like 30 days or less before the holiday. It means that you can build your sukkah like on any days of the year. You have to like to start one month before Sukkot, so the mitzvah will be done properly. There are people are used to like to make a sukkah, to build a sukkah from pergola, and like any other structure that we have outside. So if it's like half built and not like completely built, it's still kosher. But if you build the whole sukkah like more than 30 days before Sukkot, it's not kosher. So many of us do that, and it's still good. For instance, you can see here 2 flat sukkah, and I will let you guess which is it like. Is it kosher by the Mishnah? Who can say? You can write in the chat.
No, the one's kosher.
What? I can't hear you. Is it kosher or is it not? I heard Miriam. Anyways, like if I want to build a sukkah, like right, if the Mishnah discusses, because if I want to build a sukkah and I want like the living area to be downstairs, like as I do in my own house, and I want the sleeping area to be above, is it still kosher? I'll give you a hint. This is a kosher sukkah that was featured in Mea Shearim. So, and we assume that Mea Shearim are stick to the rules, people of Mea Shearim. So only the upper floor is the kosher one. So this was one example. We can see here a sukkah on a camel, right? Is it kosher or is it not? Okay, say it's kosher, and why? And you assume that it's not kosher, and can explain. I can explain why. Anyway, um, a sukkah on a camel depends on who built it. Like, if you need a camel to go for your business, for your trips, and you're not able to stay in one place, then it's okay to build the sukkah on a camel because you don't have any other choice. But if you're able to build your sukkah in one place, so it's not kosher of you to build the sukkah on your camel. I'll give you an example. This picture was taken during the Yom Kippur War. Soldiers who built their sukkah on a military vehicle. Surely they weren't able to build a sukkah in one place, so they have to move from one spot to another. So they built their sukkah this way. Sukkah on a boat. Is it kosher? Who can tell us and why? Like, people, I need you to unmute yourself and like take part of this presentation, please. Okay, now I see the chat, sorry. Yeah, I see the Paula. So I'll ask one more time. Is it a kosher sukkah or it's not?
I think it's kosher b'diavad.
B'diavad? Like, why?
Because it's for people that need to go from one place to another for a few days, and then it won't be possible to have a sukkah.
Okay, let's say you are living on a boat all year long. Okay, you don't have a house, a home on a land. You only live on your boat. What would you do? How would you build your sukkah if you want to make the mitzvah? What would you do? I'm giving you a hard time, but like this is what Rabbi Akiva said. If the sukkah is able to deal with the wind that comes from the land, so it's kosher, and that's fine. If it can handle the wind that comes from the sea, then we don't have to like to take it under consideration because the wind of the sea, they're very strong. But if we take this sukkah and put it on the land, the sukkah will still stand and it's still kosher, and that's what the Shulchan Aruch pasak in the end. Like a kosher sukkah on a boat means that it able to handle the winds that comes from the land. Let's go forward. And we see here triangle sukkah. Is it kosher or is it not? Let's see you. Not kosher. Why? Okay. I'll let you see. If you can make a square in the sukkah that its measurements are 7 tefachim width and 7 tefachim length, and the height is still kosher, then the triangle sukkah is still kosher. So we have many kinds of sukkah that the Mishnah deals with them. Some of them are kosher and some of them not, but we have to go forward. Those images taken from Europe and on the second one as well. As you can see here, and then we go to the architectural section. You can see here that the picture taken from Poland. What we can see here that they took off the roof to make a sukkah because they couldn't build outside. Sukkah, it was illegal, so they built the sukkah in the house and put the cover on the roof, and then when they had to hit the sukkah, they just took the roof and put it back in the place. In Nazi Germany, actually not Nazi Germany, Germany in general, you are not allowed to build a sukkah any other way, not with the Nazi time and not before. So what the Jews did in Germany, they built the sukkah the same day of the first day of Sukkot, and they got a ticket with a fine that they have to repair the sukkah within 7 days, and 7 days is like the whole Sukkot, the whole length of Sukkot. And then at the end of Sukkot, they repaired the sukkah, and didn't have to pay the fine for the authorities. So it was very strict. Nowadays we're sitting in Israel, and sometimes people build their sukkah on parking lots and some places that are not very negotiable and very not like the sukkah places, but we're able to forgive people, and we're able to understand that it's a mitzvah and everyone wants to do it. It's a fun mitzvah for kids, for families, and I hope everyone enjoyed their Sukkot like this family enjoyed it many years ago, and not like this Jewish in Poland in the Nazis time. We'll go forward. Do you have questions? This is like Chabad, a sukkah that goes all over New York, and whoever wants to make the sukkah mitzvah, just get on the bicycle and say the blessing. Also, this is a portable sukkah that you can go on a trip and take it with you. The measurements are still kosher. The image from the left. And the blessing that we say in Sukkot said in Hebrew, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu v'tzivanu v'tzivanu leyeshev b'sukkah. Not לשבת, but ליישב. What is ליישב? So in English we see that we're not say the blessing of sitting in the sukkah, but we dwell in the sukkah. And this is why I like in English, the terms are really, really brighter than the Hebrew terms. Blessed are we, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who has to, I'll just go to the end, dwell in the sukkah. So what is what is dwell in? Like when I say dwell in, I'm not sitting, I'm not getting to the house, I'm not coming home. What is like dwelling in? If you can like write in the answer or like unmute, I like to hear you like and not just feel like I'm speaking to myself.
Maybe it's organizing our thoughts.
Maybe. So I will give you
like Yishuv Da'at. It takes from Yishuv Da'at.
maybe. Okay. I'll give you another hint. In Sefer Shmot, we read Vasur Mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham, and in English we see the same word to v'shachanti and be'lishev. And let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. Again, we see the dwell, and dwelling is like be in something like in like very holistic place that we're meant to be in. And if we go forward, you can see, since we don't have time, I will go through it. If someone wants me to explain, I'll explain later, but this is the Temple Mount and the plan of the Temple Mount. This is Al-Aqsa, and I will explain it later if you want. But I will ask you, what makes you feel home? Like if we say dwelling, like we want to dwell in. So some of us would say like my family is my home. Some of us say I like to cook. I like the kitchen. I like to host people with the meals I make. Some of us say my bed is my home, like where I can sit back and relax and let my thought rest and like sleep like quietly. The meaning of home and dwelling is like can be very 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 deep for each one of us. And then the Gemara said, when do I really make the mitzvah of Sukkot? Of when do I really dwell? So Rabbanan said, all 7 days, person makes his sukkah permanent and his house empty. How? He had nice dishes, get them in the sukkah. Nice bedding, get them also to the sukkah. Eats, drinks, walks in the sukkah. Menaminei, what is the source of these words? Our religion, Rabbi, you should all sit like you are dwelling. This is why they said all 7 days, and I repeat, all sukkah eats, drinks, and walks in the sukkah and meditates in the sukkah. It's like the home and like the place that we're dwelling in is also meditating us, make us think when we have like the best of like our familiar the things where like we know that reminds us of home. It's like the best place to meditate. If we have our bed, if we have our dishes, if we have all the things that we are considered to call home, we're likely to call home, then it's like the best place to meditate. And the sukkah should be the same place as a home. There's also halakha that said we shouldn't leave the sukkah like dirty or unfold or like un improper uh, any minutes, because this is the place that we're supposed to feel like a whole all Sukkot long, all the day of Sukkot. And here, like that's an illustration from a book, a children book, the very best of Sukkah story from Uganda, that said that like what makes a Sukkah? The community. Like if each one of the community take part of building the sukkah, one is like bringing the food in, one is bringing the schach, one is bringing um, all kinds of equipment, uh, all the needs with that we have to fill home, then the sukkah is complete. So I don't know how many sukkahs are built in Uganda every year, but nowadays we can see like it's uh, it's very simple that um, in days like these that we are confronting a war and a very difficult times, the community has a really strong power of how we feel, how like we feel home. People are coming from all over the world to take part of this situation, and it's make us stronger. It's make us like feel very, very home. Although we are like not feeling home right now, if the community is strong and the community is taking part, we're feeling home, even though many of us go to Miluim, many of us like are not really home and like staying in hotels and are staying in inns. It's like it make us like a very strong as a nation. Um, I would like to go forward. And then I go to the architectural insights. You can see here a house, okay? And also I'm an architect. I was not, I didn't say it before, but I'm an architect. And also architect are very dealing with the question of what is dwelling. We can build a building and we can build houses and we can build like venues. We can build like any place actually, and we have the license to do that. But like the question of what is dwelling and what is like the right proportion, like to make one feel home is very questionable. You can see here a house, and that's one architect made, and this is like other architects said like you have to make the roof like an arc, and then you have to take one window off, and you have to like really resketch it because this it doesn't feel like home. So any of us, even architects, even planners, like we have all of us, we have the insights and our poses like to how home our place should look alike. Also, the sukkot that we built are very different. I think none sukkah is resembled to another. Like many of us like to go to see sukkot like every Sukkot holiday and see the decoration, see the table, see the even the books or the bed, because we're different. But this is what like um, this is what all makes us like unique, and at the same time like make us feel very home. And also there's the golden ratio. Who knows know heard of the golden ratio? You can see the chat. Sorry. So the golden ratio said that if we keep this um, I can't hear you. Sorry. Yes. Yeah, I agree with Paula. Yeah. Yeah. The golden ratio said that if we keep those measurements, like we keep the ratio as you see here, then all the stars will align, all things will get in order, all things will see like very reasonable, and we want to believe that like this one, like it can give you some, I don't know, some kind of order, but like what makes a place can never be can never be uh, להיות מוכתב. I don't know how to say it in English, but it can never be only this. It has to be like to have a soul, to have your like to have a deep connection to what you feel in your own place, within you and without you, with outside you. Sorry. Um, and as we speak about dwelling, so this is what dwelling means like in ancient times. Dwelling is like digging a hole in a mountain and make houses that the walls are made out of the stone of the mountain, and we're just digging. We're just making the holes. We're just making the stairs, but all we actually do is just letting the light coming in. It's like we're digging holes, and then this is what we do when we are dwelling. Nowadays, if we speak about dwelling, so dwelling can be considered like adding a basement to our house, or adding like another garage or an addition to our house, and even like a living unit, housing unit outside the house also um, can be called like dwelling. This is like the American law. In Israel, we use other terms of dwelling and house additions. As you can see here, do you know where is it? Someone can guess? Where is this picture?
Egypt?
Not Egypt. This is in the States, but where in the States? This is Zion Park. The architect that wanted to mimic the dwelling, as you can see, took the measurements and took all the idea of dwelling, and they built like a dwelling houses in Zion Park. And I want to ask the people of Neot Kedumim, does this remind you of something? People of Neot Kedumim, does it look like something that you saw?
Like the Shomera, or
Yeah.
looks like the Shomera.
Yeah. So I don't know if the Shumera is like initially was the idea of our people, or like they brought it from other places. Of course, America was not there at the time at those times, but like we can see the resemblance of this. You can go.
Paula wrote the Watchtower.
Yeah, the watchtower, right?
Yeah.
The Shomera. So you can see here, like they mimic the building of this dwelling, like ancient dwelling, and then we can see it also we took out the dwelling out of the wall, out of the mountain, and built it in another place. So the upper side can be like more public. The roof can be more public for like public sorry, public events, public meetings, public gatherings, and the inside is more like for a gathering, like with your homies, like with your family. I can also send you a video of this project. It's really nice, really interesting. As we can see here, this is a dwelling. It's from Denver in the States. And this one, who can like guess where is it? Do you know where is this dwelling? No one? Anyhow, this dwelling comes from Mount.
Afghanistan, no.
No, this is in Israel, Mount Arbel. It was not preserved really good, so it's not accessible for anyone, but you can see the dwellings all over the world. People started to build their homes like by this, and we took the dwelling and then put it like a term for like housing in our language, let's say. So my next question will be, what is permanent and what is not permanent?
Hello.
When we build something, what we consider permanent and what is like temporary. I don't like to say temporary because like in Israel, nothing, everything is permanent eventually, but like by law, what is permanent and what is not? Who knows? No one? Okay. So in general, what is permanent and what is not, it's like if you have to get a license, building license for it, so it should be a permanent building. And if you don't have to get a license, building license, so it's supposed to be like not permanent. But we have sometimes structures that are meant to be not permanent, but they are still permanent because the materials we are using are not concrete. If you use wood and if we use steel and if we use like a light, I'm sorry, use light materials, so we can build like things like fences, like tents, like any other things that were called temporary. Also, we can use like temporary structures to build a permanent housing. This is my next example. Sorry, this is my next example. As you can see here, this is permanent, okay? The people ask this for this license. They initially ask for like use those mecholot. I don't know the terms in English. It comes from ships.
Containers.
No, it's not like containers, ships containers, and to build their house. I think it's very very successful building. I don't know. I like it. And on the other hand, you can see here. Sorry, this is from China. Who have a guess? How much time did it take to build this 10-floor building?
A week. 1 week.
less.
3 days.
Less. Lower.
5 hours.
No. More.
One
This
day.
this building took 29 hours to build. Okay, within 29 hours, they had from zero, they went to 10 floor building. This is in China. No way it could be built in Israel. I'm sorry. And here we see
It's
a
a
very,
building like the things that I'm ordering from AliExpress.
yeah. But they have to some rules they have to stick with in order to get license. It's still China and it's still easier to get a building license, but still they have license like uh, if you're an architect or like an engineer, you would be sued, you can go to jail if you go otherwise. Um, so we can see a very like from time to time collapsing building in China, but they know what they do. Like they know like they well life I think human life is like is cheaper than here, but like they don't want to go to jail because a Chinese jail it's like worse than Israeli jail. Um, so this is how it goes. Um, and as we can see here, this is like a very bad examples for a temporary structure that was eventually caused disasters. We can see here the Maccabea Bridge. Uh, for those of you who were born like in the 80s and underneath, um, the Maccabea Bridge was a temporary structure that was meant to serve like uh, 10,000 people in at once, but um, the the engineer was not planning it like really good. Here is the Mount Herzl disaster. Also here was temporary. We can see here, and we can see of the Geshem Maccabea, we can see there are not, this is our light materials. There's no concrete. We don't see stones. We don't see very heavy materials. We only see steel, and still the engineers went to jail. So when we speak about temporary structures, the the main responsibility, it's like the main responsibility is for the engineer. The architect had nothing to do like with structure, only with licensed permanent buildings. So if you want to build something temporary, it has to be like really, really strong, and it has to be like follow the rules of gravity and following the rules of nature. And we can see here on the left, we can see the balcony, and we can see the sukkah, this stick to it, but that's also supposed to be temporary. It has like a temporary license. Uh, this structure is supposed to be like uh, floating, or like um, supposed to be out only for 7 days a year. If it's longer, it puts us on danger, and it's like I don't know, like if like it was like if the Haredi push to do it, or like someone invented it in order to the Haredi people will buy this apartment and they will have a kosher sukkah that it's underneath the sky. But definitely it's not supposed to be like for more than 7 days a year. And I took this picture like on February. February, it's not a time of Sukkot. And this also can be very, very dangerous for the users. And I hope like with education or like with understanding that you have to stick to the rules of engineering, not the rules of Hashem only. And this is like a really, you can see it all over the Haredi neighborhoods in Jerusalem. Okay, we have to finish. Any questions? No?
Thank you very much, Noga.
Okay, I can send you the the other part of the presentation. And thank you very much for listening. And I was very happy and pleased to combine two things that I love, architecture and Neot Kedumim. I never had a chance to do that because like we all the time we are going touring outside and like really not using a PowerPoint presentation. And I hope like this will go on and more people will join us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
See you on Sunday, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.